I've felt lost in life so many times and the feeling sucks. I want you to tell me if you can relate to any of these. I'd say first off is just failing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like when I fail so much, it starts to feel like, what am I even doing with my life? And it feels like there is no way out. It's like after so many times of just falling down, how many more times are you just gonna get up just to fall down again? And it's nice to think that, yeah, just keep falling down and eventually you'll make it. It sounds good in theory, but sometimes it never works out like that. Sometimes you really do just keep falling forever. I remember so many times I would try to open up e-commerce stores and do drop shipping and try to sell stuff online. The amount of stores I opened up and I got no sales was crazy. I've done like jewelry, I've done shoes, I've what else did I do? Just random shit. Just like random e-commerce stores of shit, just random trending products and fidget spinners and random shit, right? Just trying to do it, thinking that this is a path, this is an avenue. And it never was for me. And then maybe if I kept going, I would have made it, but maybe I would have just wasted my entire life away chasing something that I couldn't accomplish. And at that time, I remember hating everything in my life, like all the dumb jobs I was working and being in school. I remember hating that time, and I thought that this was my way out, this was it. And when that wouldn't work, the amount of frustration that I felt and just how empty everything felt, it just left me in a bad place. I would say secondly is having no passion. I remember vividly there was a time where I remember I gave up on making music. There was a time where it was my passion and that was the goal, that was the direction I was going down. And then when I gave up on that and I said I don't really want to do music anymore, I want to find a new path. After about a month, I felt so lost. Like I didn't know what to do with my life and myself. I started to look around and I saw so many other people winning, and I thought, is this it for me? And I was only like 20 years old, maybe 19, and still it felt like what am I supposed to do with my life? Feeling lost is the worst because you're just in limbo. Like you're going nowhere, doing nothing. No positive thoughts, like there's nothing for you. And without a passion or a purpose, everything feels meaningless because why even go after a goal? There is no goal to even go after to begin with. There's nothing that's feeding your soul. You need that passion or you need that purpose. Otherwise, you will be lost because there is no direction. Number three is just too much outside noise. The amount of times so many people around me tried to tell me what I should do with my life. Oh, like just thinking about it just puts me in a bad place. Just like, hey, you should do this. Hey, you got to do that. Hey, hey. This is my life. I'm the one playing. You can do whatever you want to do. And from hearing all that and like, especially being young and feeling like you have to gravitate towards what like an elder is telling you to do, it's like you're dragged in this position and then it doesn't work, and then you're dragged in this position and it doesn't work, and then you're left feeling lost because it's like I should trust this person and what they're saying should work for me and I should feel happy and all this stuff, and then I don't, and then you're left feeling lost. Over time, I've honestly grown to hate taking advice from people, even though I know that that's bad, because a lot of people do have a lot of good advice and they have experiences that you should be able to take from and learn from their mistakes and yada, yada, yada. I get it. But so many times I've listened to other people's advice and it's like, you're not even living the life I want to live, number one. And then two, you didn't even do the thing you're telling me to do. Like, you yourself didn't even do it. You yourself aren't me. Like, how can, like, most of the time, how can people tell you what to do or how to live if they're not you? If they don't have your brain, if they don't have your life circumstances. Number four, I'd say, is just big life transitions. This is like the easiest way to feel lost because let's think about like high school graduation. Your whole life, it's just first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's like a structure and you know exactly what's coming next. The minute you graduate high school, you're left with choices and options, right? It's like military, trade school, college, out of state, in state, start a business, work a regular job, go work with your parents. There's so many different avenues to choose. And then that is where the feeling of loss comes in immediately. For most people, that's like the first time they start to feel lost. It's like you're still a kid, but you're like forced to make a choice on what the majority of your life is going to look like. Most people's lives are really dictated on what choice they make when they're out of high school. Obviously, you can always revamp and restart life and do different things, but for the most part, the choices that you make right when you get out of high school is kind of the avenue you're going to go down, because most people go down a path and they realize, I've been going down this path for like 4 years and I'm not about to start back over. So, like, this is it. I'm going down it. Right? That's the case for most people. And then the hardest part about this specific choice, like when you graduate high school, is if you choose the unstructured plan, right, by trying to do something on your own, that's where it really feels like you're lost, because there's nobody to really lean on. There's nobody to take anything from. All the people who would go to college or would just do what their parents told them to do, they didn't really have to think or use their brains or make up their mind. It was just like, okay, this is the path and I'm just going to do this and not think about it. But if you try to do something on your own, immediately you have to make every single choice and you start to not know what to do. And I know it feels the same when you graduate college. I never experienced that. And I know it feels the same when you reach a certain age. And I know it's the same when you get married or when you have kids or when your kids graduate high school themselves and they go off into the real world. There's major life events that happen where you're in that transition period. And I know you're going to feel lost and not know what to do. I would say number 5 is just pure comparison. It's so easy to compare yourself to other people nowadays with the internet. You could see somebody your age living a life 10 times yours, and you're wondering if you're doing the wrong thing, and you don't know what you should do with your life now, because it's like, I've been going down this route this long, and I'm not anywhere. Like, I don't feel like I made any progress, and then you got this person who's living a way better life than me, and they're younger than me, and it really starts to, like, test you. Like, that's to me one of the worst feelings, and it's something that I have to get over, right? But that really makes me feel lost to the highest degree, because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, if they are showing proof of it working out, doing it this way, what am I doing wrong? The truth is, everybody lives a different life. Everybody's on a different schedule. I get that. But it's just something hard to be able to adapt to. Number 6 would definitely be fear of failure. Because when you're scared to fail, you're scared to start. And if you're scared to start, you're just completely stagnant and you're doing nothing. And if you're just literally standing there doing nothing while the world passes you by, the only feeling you're going to be left with is feeling lost, because you don't know what to do. It's right there in front of you, but you can't start because you're afraid. You're afraid to start. There was a point in time where I was afraid to talk to a camera. I was afraid to post something online for everybody I knew to see and like thousands of people to see. There was a time of that, right? And that's an example of fearing that failure, because I believed that this was a route. I believed that making videos online was a path. But there was a period of time when I was like 17 and I was like, there's no chance I'm doing this. So it was like, this is the answer, but I don't feel like I can do it. So I'm left feeling lost again. There's so many different other reasons and different ways I felt lost in my life, like not having direction or guidance or living for other people. There's so many to talk about. I'm interested to see what everybody has to say, like in the comments, if anybody can relate to something like this. If anybody has like advice for people who are like going through shit like this. I feel like it's easy for me to talk about the issues that like most people go through or that I've experienced in the past that I've experienced in the past, but having the answers is the hard part, because I could give my own advice, but it's not going to work for everybody. So I'm just curious to see what everybody has to say about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, what I got to say. So yeah. Be happy, be healthy, and most importantly, people, stay classy.